Hey everyone, welcome back to Digital Chad Tech. Before I begin, just want to tell everyone I've not been paid anything for this video. These opinions are mine. No one has had any input into what I'm sharing with you in my videos, not even my dogs, even though they love being in them. Also, while watching my Buds2 Pro unboxing video, I could hear the song I was playing in the background. I had it on 150. I normally don't go above 100. I've been told I have hearing loss multiple times by doctors. I had problems hearing in loud crowded places. As I mentioned in previous videos, ambient mode on these buds are lost on me. Because I had hearing loss for decades, I always bought the cheapest headphones thinking I couldn't appreciate the good ones, but I was wrong about that. But do me a favor, protect your hearing, keep the full volume listening to a minimum. You're not about that, you're here about these. Computer, start the show.
Don't forget to tell them to like and subscribe.
Now, these, I don't even know where to begin. Let's start with fit. Okay, the fit of these. It's the rumors of a better fit over the twos just made me pre-order these immediately. These fit so nicely. They fit so better than the foam tips on the Bud Pros. I've even had it like a suction effect. I pushed them in a little too hard, and there was a little suction effect where they were actually like really in my ear. I don't adjust them often. And I go for walks for like an hour at a time, and there's no issues. As for the comfort, they're very light. I hardly notice they're there. I actually wear them to bed, and I can sleep on the ear that they're in. They are so small and comfortable. I just can't say enough good things about these. Now let's talk about the sound. I know after my first video, I said the sound was great. I do not back that off. That I have been enjoying these thoroughly. Dog hair. They're always trying to get in the video somehow. I took a few songs, played them on the same device, my S22 Ultra. Played everything on the same level using Spotify. The songs were downloaded. I did clean the pros beforehand. Used some alcohol to make sure that I was getting the full sound out of them. And I started with a song called Keisha Song by Kendrick Lamar, which my son turned me on to, and I really like it. Now, I did a lot of rewinding, and I noticed the intro on these was cleaner than the intro on the pros. Now, I always wondered if that song is supposed to have a tape hiss to it or not, but it didn't matter. It just sounded better with these. Same thing with the bass line when it kicks in. After that, there's like that broken up, like it's choppy. Let's just call it choppy. There's this choppy intro to the song, and then a bass line kicks in, and then when the vocals kick in, the bass line's more noticeable. These went on bass line, hands down. Just know that if I wasn't doing a side-by-side comparison, either of these sound amazing. So, my second song that I chose, Toto, Africa. I mean, why not? It's got the synth, it's got some drums, and I don't know if I've ever noticed before, but in the intro, someone laughs, and there's some cowbell, and it just made me chuckle. I don't know. Both pairs of these made all the subtle details clear, but when the vocals started, that's when I really noticed one difference. The vocals on the Buds2 Pro were cleaner. And by cleaner, I don't know if you call it sound separation or what. It just sounded better. Enough for me to go back through everything on my phone, make sure that the volume, the equalizer, everything was exactly the same. It was. It might be a personal preference, but I prefer the Buds2 Pro just for the clarity and sound separation on its own. Then, of course, I had to pull out Queen Bohemian Rhapsody because, that has wonderful stereo and volume mixing effects, and huge difference here between the opening vocals and piano, especially where it goes little high, little low. When it went left to right, I never even noticed they played with the volume on that. Like it gradually builds in one ear, goes to the other, and I could hear it extremely clear in here. Whereas and trust me, I didn't just do this once with these songs. I went over these songs like 3, 4. I think Bohemian Rhapsody I didn't listen to the whole song through. Broke it up into chunks and kept replaying chunks and taking these out, shoving those back in, and going back and forth. And it was actually a lot of fun. But this was just these. If Queen wanted us to hear them, they would want us to hear them through this. These Galaxy Bud 2 Pros are just phenomenal. The rest of the song was pretty even. Guitar solo sounded a little better on the Bud Pros. That just, I don't know, they just came a little higher. That was one of the times I think the sound separation might have been a little better on the original Bud Pros, but it was pretty even. I mean, they're all great, but if you already have the Bud Pros and you're happy sitting around with them, fine. But when it comes down to it, my personal preference is the Bud 2 Pros. I mean, for sound, yeah, not as big a difference as some other things that I'm going to talk about, but let's talk about those other things. The noise canceling. Okay. This video took me a while because, as you probably know, most of the United States wasn't getting rain, so I wasn't cutting my lawn. We finally got the rain. I'm finally cutting my lawn. I put these in, and I don't even have the foam tips on them like I have on the, excuse me, like I have on the Pros. I have the Comply foam tips. I heard the Comply foam tips are out for these. I'm going to wait till I wear these tips out and I go to replace them before I get the Comply foam tips. Because to be honest, with the ANC on mowing the lawn, I could hear the lawnmower just a little bit, and it's a really old, loud gas lawnmower. But with the music on, I was fine. I mean, I could barely hear the lawnmower. Now with these, with the Comply foam tips and these tight in my ear, yeah, I can't hear the lawnmower at all with those. But then again, it's not a fair comparison. Foam tips, not foam tips. Now, for the part that was important to me. Ambient mode. Let's shove those back over there. Ambient mode, the first time I had it on, I was sitting on the couch and I heard my wife talk to me. And she was sitting on my left and I didn't know I had the buds on. I did not know I had the Bud 2 Pros on. I turned to her and I definitely gave her a shocked Pikachu face. And I was like, it sounded like her voice. I heard it crystal clear. Now, I actually stopped wearing buds on hikes and walks to make sure I can hear my dogs better. With the Bud Pros 2, I keep the music on low from the time I leave the house and I walk on some streets around the town here before I get to the park. Through the park, I can tap to stop the music. I have the ambient sound on. I can have full conversations with people with these in. I've never, ever been able to do that before. And if there are buds out there with better ambient mode than these, I would be amazed. They were just that clear. And even when I'm walking with the music on really low and ambient, I can hear the music fine. The wind I can hear a little bit, not as much as I did originally with my Bud Pluses. Where are they? I have them on the shelf up there. These I heard the wind a lot. I didn't use them. I think those two I would take out. With these, the wind was tolerable. It was there. You know, your head turns a certain way and the wind's blowing over the microphone port. You're going to hear a little wind. I don't think there's a lot they can do about that right now. But they're working on it, though. Now, oh, yeah. And I could hear people with stock settings, too. I didn't go into accessibility mode and pump up the volume. You can do that. You can make them louder. Stock settings. I could hear everything clean as day. I love these. All right. As for the controls, double tap and triple tap were turned off by default. But once I went in, found the setting, turned them on, life was better. Ear tap was improved. I found, that it used to be a lab setting. I forget where it is right now. But I was tapping the back of my ear instead of next to the bud to get the volume up and down. And now I can just tap next to the bud. It works so much better. than it used to. Before, I was like smacking the back of my ear to get the volume up and down. One problem, sometimes when I eat, my jaw does pop, and the volume will go up or down depending on what I'm eating. Even if I turn off touch controls, the tap control remains active. It's a minor annoyance. I leave it alone, and the only time I ever turn off the touch controls is when I'm in bed. Now, like I said in the previous video, I have not dropped these. These, it's not that they stick to your fingers. It's just that you have a grip on them. These are glossy. These are slippery. But the rare occasion I have to adjust these, like when I used to do the lawnmower with the pros, I adjusted those maybe 10, 12 times when I was mowing. I didn't adjust these once, but I did have to take them out to talk to someone on the main road because a bunch of cars were going by and I can't hear with that anyhow. So I took them out and I put them back in. I had no problems holding them, handling them, twisting them in my ear. I have no problems getting a good fit with them. They are wonderful. Battery life, I wore them out once. Just to see if I could. I had them going most of the afternoon. Unfortunately, I was in bed and I fell asleep, and I just had Spotify playing in the background on a loop with ANC on. So I really don't know when they died, but I don't ever see myself actually wearing the battery out on these. Now, with any buds, if you drop the case, if you ever drop the case, especially outside, always open them and make sure the buds are in there. These do not have strong magnets. That's the weak point of these. But this is actually the third set of the pluses before we figure that out. Twice we were somewhere. One time at a parking lot at an airport, my son dropped them, and we got to the check-in area. And when we opened them, they weren't in there. And when we got back, he dropped them right outside the car. But someone ran them over while we were on vacation. So no matter what buds you drop, if you drop them, I don't care what brand they are, after you drop them, always pick them up and look. Because you never know when that magnet pops open, everything drops out, and then it shuts again, and there's nothing in there. Now, a great new feature is the ability to find these even though they're in the case through SmartThings. Works a lot like the Galaxy Tag. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put it right somewhere. And it gives you an idea how close you are. You can make them play a sound in the case. It is a very welcome feature if you're like me and wander around your house with something in your hands and then put it down because you get easily distracted. It's totally me. Now, what else do we got? 3D mode. I hear a lot of people don't like 3D mode. They say it gives an echoey sound. I love it. I think it's great for watching content. When you turn your head, the sound moves like it would if you weren't wearing headphones. And I did a few Dolby Vision tests where they have you track objects with sound all around you. And it was so much fun to do. I did it on the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra here. So the video is incredible. The audio experience was incredible. And I don't know. And as I turned my head, the sounds would change around me. It was just amazing. I really felt like I was in the middle of the video, except the video was in front of me. Kind of wish I had a big curved panel in front of me. I think didn't Samsung just make a big curved gaming panel? Yeah, I can't afford that. But I leave 3D mode on all the time. And when I'm mowing the lawn or doing something else, I don't even notice 3D mode's on. I think because the screen's off or something, it's in my pocket. I don't know how that works, but I just leave it on all the time. It doesn't bother me. So my verdict. I cannot recommend these enough. They were worth every penny. If I lose them, I'm going to replace them immediately. With the exception of the Sound Liberty buds that I've been wearing for work, I have not used anything else. Except when comparing sounds, then I had to dig those out. But these have replaced all my previous buds. I don't need these for when I'm listening to good music. I don't need these for mowing the lawn. I don't need these for just light work. These I was supposed to send in to trade in for these, but something got screwed up and they don't want them back. Yeah, I'm not going to complain. I'll trade them in when these go on sale again. Maybe I'll get a backup pair. But these, and it's so funny how far we've come from the Pluses to the 2 Pros. It's just mind-blowing. I have listened to more music in the past, how long have I had these? 2 years? The past 2 years than I think I did in the previous 20. It's just been amazing. I'm not even an audiophile. If you're an audiophile, there are better buds out there than these. I know there are. I mean, these are considered mid-tier. What are your good buds? What do you listen to? Audiophiles out there. Leave me that below in the comments. All right. Thank you to my subscribers as well as everyone else who stopped by to hear what I have to say. If you like this video, help out my channel and click the like button. If you really like the video, show the other 13 brave souls who have clicked the subscribe button. If you really want to help the channel, click the notification bell as well and hit select all so you see all the content when it comes out. Thanks everyone. Talk to you in the next one.